The kitchen is one of the most used and visited places in my home. This is where I prepare breakfast to start my day, a creative outlet where I explore and learn new recipes during my day off, as well as more mundane tasks such as filling a cup of water. As someone who prefers home-cooked meals rather than takeouts, having a functional and organized kitchen is just as important as having a beautiful aesthetic. The kitchen itself has a great foundation with simple built-in cabinets and modern appliances. However, it is lacking in warmth and character as everything looks plain and boring. Recently, I converted the storage cupboard into a dedicated pantry. This freed up some space in the kitchen and allowed us to get creative with the shelving units. Before starting this project, I gathered a bunch of images as my mood board. A common theme I noticed is adding warmth from timber and some visual interest through the use of open shelving. However, being a rental, we are limited to the changes that can be made. Instead of replacing the cabinets, I decided to simply take off the doors and create an open shelving. To minimize clutter, I emptied the cabinets and put away things I no longer need or use. The rest are kept in a closed cabinet, so I can use the open shelving to display some of my plates and mugs. Once the cabinet is empty, I took off the divider and used a stepladder to slowly unscrew the door hinge. It is a fairly easy process which took me less than 5 minutes. I then gathered all the screws and stored them inside a zip bag to be able to reattach the doors when I move out of the place. In order to get a warm timber look shelving, I used this oak vinyl adhesive from Kmart which cost only $3 per roll. The back of the roll has grid lines which makes it really easy to cut to measurement. I started with the shelf divider and simply use a scissor to cut following the grid lines. Make sure to wipe the surface before attaching the vinyl wrap in order to get a smooth surface without air bubbles. For the side and back panels, I made sure to have the grain run vertically for a more natural look. I also cut them into narrow strips to be used on the edges of the shelf. Then, simply attach the vinyl to all sides of the shelf. Once it is done, I brought out some of my bowls and mugs that I plan to display on the shelf. These are the Speckle range from Australian brand Ecology Homewares, which came in various colors with a dimpled finish. I placed dinner bowls on the bottom right for easy access, and coffee mugs and breakfast bowls on the other side. On the top shelf are things I use less often: a cooking book, bamboo canister, and a small mortar and pestle. To add a touch of greenery, I got a devil's ivy as it can tolerate a low light environment. To match the overall theme of the space, I decided to replace the paper towel holder with one that has a wood tone. As it is pretty lightweight, I had to get creative and attach the base with Velcro command strips to prevent it from moving around. This way, we can still take the holder off for the occasional wipe. On the other side of the kitchen island, I replaced the stool for a more timeless and modern look. It has a low-profile seat with timber legs that goes well with most interior styles. The last part of the island is to manage this cable mess from appliances. The power outlet is located right in the middle, which makes it tricky to hide the cables. So, I got this white cable box with a bamboo lid that easily blends with the surroundings and slightly resembles a bread bin. It helps keep the cable tidy and the countertop free of clutter. Then, I added a ZZ plant in the corner to add a pop of color and give life to the space. I also utilized the vertical wall space to store a pair of this lightweight cutting board that can double as a serving board. Apart from these appliances, I kept the rest of the countertop clear with only a fruit bowl in the middle and a soap dispenser right beside the tap. In order to make sure it stays clear all the time, I got a recycling caddy from Joseph to tuck away empty bottles and boxes that used to live on the countertop. It has 2 compartments, which I use to separate paper and cardboard from glass and plastic bottles. Once it is full, I can just carry the caddy and dump things away to the appropriate recycling bin. Across the caddy is a grey touch bin that blends well with the rest of the space. Before I move on, I would like to briefly thank today's sponsor, Squarespace. Whether you're a small business, creator, or simply looking to build an online presence, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to create professionally designed website. Over the past few weeks, I have been slowly building my personal website to allow submissions for my new House to Home series, as well as a place where I can link all products and images from my projects. With Squarespace, this process has been completely effortless, and my website is now officially live. There are also many useful tools in the platform, from blogging to analytics and so much more. If you're looking to build a website, I highly recommend you check them out. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/ReinhardLowell to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. In the cooking area, I kept things similar since the last kitchen organization that I did earlier this year. Condiments, oil, and spices are all kept on the counter for easy access when cooking. I made sure to decant everything and use different types of bottles, jars, and canisters to keep things neat and tidy. The wooden accents here also provide warmth and contrast to the overall look of the kitchen. Underneath the cooking area, I kept a bunch of sauces on a turntable, with a shelf stand behind to maximize the space in this deep and narrow cabinet. I also installed the motion sensor strip light to easily view what's inside. On the other side, I kept onion and garlic inside this bamboo container, and some extra sauce and mixing bowls behind. On the cabinet door, I attached this pot lid holder which barely takes up any space. To keep pans tidy, I got an expandable pan organizer which has an adjustable divider to accommodate different sizes. This makes it so much easier to store away pans while keeping them accessible. I also utilized the cabinet doors to hang oven mitts and pot holders. I used these small wire hooks from Command, which is as simple as attaching the hooks with a strip. The top level of the bottom cabinet is where I keep extra noodle bowls, a drainer, and a blowtorch. The cabinet above has 4 levels, each with a different function. On the bottom, I use a 2-level storage basket to store zip bags and a bunch of reusable food bags. The shelf above is where I keep extra glassware and sweets which I often use to make breakfast oats. Above it, I utilize an undershelf drawer to store chicken salt and fry seasoning. Then, blender and food container on the 3rd shelf, and my protein powder on the top shelf. All other ingredients such as noodles, pasta, and canned goods are stored in the storage cupboard beside the kitchen, which I recently converted into a pantry. When it comes to maintaining a clean kitchen, I kept all cleaning supplies accessible under the sink. Make sure to compartmentalize in order to keep each group of items separate from the other. I also like to roll dish towels and tuck them neatly inside a basket. Above it, I used an undershelf bag organizer to store my grocery bags. While some of these changes are pretty minor, they have had a massive impact to help me start my day on a more positive note. Preparing breakfast no longer feels like something I have to do, but rather an enjoyable part of the day as things just flow seamlessly. I now spend more time in the kitchen and constantly try on new, healthy recipes to add variety to my diet. has also become a place where I can express my creativity and experiment with new tools and ingredients. And that concludes the makeover and tour of my kitchen. Everything shown in this video will be linked in the description below. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below and I'll try my best to answer them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.